Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. We're going to discuss the real reason why Zimbabwe is issuing a gold bullion coin. Let's explore! You may remember a short while ago I posted a video when this news broke about Zimbabwe issuing a gold coin to fight inflation. And that's the headline of this piece by the Washington Post. And of all places, this article talks about it more in depth and gives a more profound reason as to why the country is issuing its gold bullion coin. And of course, as you know, as I mentioned in the video that I did previously on this, Zimbabwe is known for its very hefty inflation. But let's get into it and stick around because I have some pictures of the coin as well too. You can kind of see it here as it's being held by the governor of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe holding the gold coin at the coin's launch on July 25th. So now these things are fresh from the mint and now are circulating, and some have asked where they can get one, and from what I understand, they are only available in the country. And I think that's part of the reason why this reason is there as to why they are issuing these gold coins. So let's look through the article, and then we'll take a look at some pictures, and I hope you will consider pressing the thumbs up button and sharing this video, because we're going to cover some good stuff, and I do like to cover the news with regards to precious metals. I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch and engaging with comments and clicking the notification bell and thumbing up the video as well. With inflation soaring in Zimbabwe and the country's currency in free fall, as people abandon it for the U.S. dollar, the government of President Emerson Mnangagwa is fighting back with a novel strategy: gold coins. Starting Monday, Zimbabwe is selling 1 ounce 22-karat gold coins bearing an image of Victoria Falls, its world-famous natural wonder. Each has a serial number, comes with a certificate, and will be sold at a price based on the prevailing international price of gold and the cost of production. In fact, they say that's somewhere around 5%. And that was on their announcement, which was on July the 4th. The coins will be tradable both in Zimbabwe and overseas. So that's interesting. Now, that's new. The bank said it can be exchanged for cash. The goal is to reduce the quantity of Zimbabwe dollars in circulation to eventually restore that currency's value. What's unknown is whether the approach has any real chance of success. While gold is traditionally the ideal hedge against inflation and general economic uncertainty, no country has previously tried to tackle a weakening currency by selling gold coins. And so this is unique and different for a country like Zimbabwe that's known for massive easy monetary policies, hyperinflation multiple times over. And in that sense, it's unusual, said Carlos Caceres, the International Monetary Fund's representative to Zimbabwe. And with gold trading at about $1,710 per troy ounce late last week, institutional investors may be the coin's principal buyers. Would you buy it if it became available at a bullion dealer? I might consider it, but I kind of doubt they're going to be available as easily as some people think. No ordinary person will be able to afford it, said Prosper Shitambrada, a senior researcher at the Labor of Economic Development Research Institute of Zimbabwe. Right now, Zimbabweans are living hand to mouth. And here's another reason why I think it's not going to be readily available at our most beloved bullion dealers out there, because it's minted and distributed in Zimbabwe. Getting through those institutions is going to be a bit tough, whereas the nation of Chad, a lot of their stuff is minted by Scottsdale Mint. These are minted, I think, in Africa, according to the video that I did earlier that talked about how these were produced. Economic crises are nothing new to the people in the southern African nation, who for more than 2 decades have faced hyperinflation, food and fuel shortages, staggering unemployment, and other hardships. For many, the current crisis recalls the late 2000s under then-President Robert Mugabe. Annual inflation hit a record 489 billion%. Let that sink in, folks. 489 billion%. We talk about 200% or 100%. This is billions of percents. And that was in September of 2008. The shoppers carried garbage bags full of banknotes to buy groceries. You may remember the video that I did on this topic, and I'll link to it at the end screen of this video. I showed what Mugabe's government printed, a $100 trillion note. Now, they mistakenly say it's the largest in world history. I thought it was too, but one of my great viewers, and several of you have said that I think Czechoslovakia or one of those, or Yugoslavia at one point in time in the early part of this century or late last century, 1800s or 1900s, they had the largest inflationary note in world history. This is before the country abandoned its currency in 2015 for the U.S. dollar. In fact, I remember that note, that $100 trillion note, and I refer back to my prior video on it where you will be able to see several of them in hand, which I now understand are worth about $200 each. That dollar has the date November of 2008 on it. And in January of 2009, they replaced it with what is known as the new Zimbabwean dollar. Yes, indeed. Mugabe was forced to resign in 2017, and the Zim dollar, as it is known, was reintroduced 2 years later. But as confidence in it again falls, Finance Minister Mthuli Ncube has warned that businesses refusing to accept the currency from customers could lose their trading license. This year, the Zim dollar has already lost roughly 72% of its value in 1 year against the U.S. dollar. You know, we think 9.1% inflation is bad. Think of 72% inflation. But with the dollar being king, 9.1% is still very bad. Make no mistake. Annual inflation reached triple digits in May, climbing again in June to 192%, even as interest rates more than doubled to 200% from 80% in Zimbabwe. Wow. But it is a third world nation after all. Think about it. They really don't have much backing them stuff up, so people don't have much faith in their currencies. Chibchambra said the government wants sales of the gold coins to moderate. This is the key here. They wanted to moderate high demand for U.S. dollars. So these notes here, these paper notes that we've come to know and love, are utilized worldwide, even in third world nations. And they want to moderate the high demand for U.S. dollars, which is a key factor in the local currency's depreciation. So when you have these compared to the Zim dollars, these are going to beat out, and it's going to cause their dollars to rise up. So this is why they are issuing these gold coins, to stave off demand for dollars. That's an interesting point. That's pretty amazing. In other words, gold, being a Tier 1 asset as recognized by the Bank of International Settlements in 2019, April of that year, it's up to and on par with the dollar. So if that happens, in turn reducing some of the excess money supply and easy inflationary pressures, then it would have been a positive experiment, according to Caceres. Still, Caceres says the IMF prefers tried and tested tools as it advises member countries on best economic policies. When confronting both inflation and a weakening currency, such tools include raising or cutting interest rates to control inflation and tweaking the amount of money that banks must set aside as reserves. Most of Zimbabwe's inflationary pressures emanate from its currency troubles, but rising prices are also being fueled by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has sparked a global wave of inflation amid supply shortages of grain and fuel. And that's part of it, but I think they just put that in there because they are indeed the Washington compost. But nonetheless, on the streets of the capital city of Harare, there isn't much chatter about the new coin. The Mosi Aitunya, the traditional name for the Zambezi River waterfall, it translates to the smoke that thunders. Vendor Trust Mugeria is focused on his increasingly difficult day-to-day life. In January, I would pay $10 US to buy a pack of mealy meal, cooking oil, sugar, and salt, and this would push me through the month, said Murivaya, 28. Now a bottle of cooking oil costs $5 US, and I cannot buy much more with the remainder. Many people survive via a parallel illegal market, with currency traders waiting on street corners and outside shopping centers, waving bundles of US dollars as well as Zim dollars. Teachers and nurses went on strike in June and demanded that half their salaries be paid in US dollars to offset the tumbling local currency. Retailers often raise prices every other day, and more of them are starting to quote prices in US dollar. That is the velocity of money happening in foreign countries, adding again to our dwindling value of our dollar. Much as what I had actually predicted some time ago, which is why quantitative easings 1, 2, and 3 worked. But now it's to infinity, and you can't pull it back. All this money is being circulated around. The Zimbabwe Central Bank last month offered bakers access to foreign currency to keep down the price of bread. Hilda Misunjugu has started charging US dollars for the traditional meal she sells from her sidewalk because no one wants a Zimbabwean dollar anymore. Last December, $200 US was enough for me to buy food packs to sell the whole day. The cost has climbed to $270, and she has increased her own prices in turn. Sadly, few people are now coming to our place. And again, they did not mention in this article, but in the previous video I mentioned that they are minting them in country. Let's take a look here and see what they look like. This is a look of the coin. You can see the falls there, and actually it's a little bit better looking than I thought. We're going to look at the specifications of the coin, but still, it's still not exactly the most beautiful thing I've seen. It looks kind of 2D, but it looks like there's a goat there in the front with the big horns, or some sort of ram, and some other plant or something there, and there's the falls in the background with the trees. Really doesn't translate well in that picture. In this picture, you can see a little bit better look at it, but it still looks kind of 2D, a little smaller image there. Here is a look at it. And I don't know if this is the case or just a piece of wood that it's on, but this is the other side. 1 ounce, 4/9 fine gold is what it says on it, but in reality, it's 90% gold, or 22 karat gold. So that's kind of odd that it says 4/9 fine gold on that image there. That's a little bit strange. Perhaps they got some of it wrong. Well, here on this side, or this is the diameter 32 millimeter. It is a round shape. And this says 1 ounce fine gold. So this may not be the image of the coin. That may be a proof version, but that looks to be different. Same coat of arms, but it is 22 carats, 91.67. 1 ounce denomination that's not the denomination, that's the weight. In fact, there is no denomination on it. So it's technically not a coin because there's no denomination. It is a metal. I don't see denomination on this image here anywhere. Very interesting. 33.93 grams. Now, we all know that 1 troy ounce is 31.1 grams. However, to offset the 91.67, the balance would be the copper or what have you, or silver. 2.63 millimeters in thickness, and it does have a reeded edge with a serial number engraved. So each of them are individually serialized, which means there's not going to be very many of them. So that if they do become available on the American market, likely they are going to be very, very expensive. I want to say, I predict that if you ever see these for sale at a bullion dealer in the U.S., they're going to charge $2,500 plus more for these things. Now, this is showing a gold coin with a 4/9 fine gold. I don't understand why they're showing this coin, because this is not... It doesn't appear to be the one. It could be. Maybe they made proof versions of these as well in 4/9 fine gold. Who knows? But each of them are serialized. So I don't know. It's a little confusing there. 1 ounce fine gold. And by the way, fine, the word fine typically refers to 3/9 fine, I would think. But I don't know. I have to look at a gold eagle, see what a gold eagle has on it. But there it is. Very interesting. So I guess fine could be anywhere between 22 and 24 carat. I don't know. But there's a serial number on it. So there it is. Let me know what your thoughts are on this video and the real reason why Zimbabwe is issuing its gold coin. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch. and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.